Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier is a captivating historical novel set in 17th century Delft, Netherlands. Published in 1999, it imagines the backstory behind Johannes Vermeer's famous painting of the same name, often called the Mona Lisa of the North. The story is narrated in the first person by Griet, a young Protestant girl from a working-class family who becomes a maid in the Catholic household of the renowned painter. Through Griet's eyes, the novel explores themes of art, class divisions, forbidden desire, jealousy, and the constraints on women's lives in a rigid society. Chevalier's prose is richly detailed, evoking the textures and colors of Vermeer's paintings, while delving into the quiet tensions of domestic life and the transformative power of creativity. Time magazine called it an exquisitely controlled exercise that illustrates how temptation is restrained for the sake of art. The story opens in the summer of 1664, with 16-year-old Griet chopping vegetables in her family's modest kitchen. Her mother introduces her to Johannes Vermeer and his wife Catharina, who have come to hire her as a maid. Vermeer immediately notices Griet's instinctive, artistic sense when she arranges the vegetables: turnips, carrots, onions, red cabbage, and leeks, by color in a wheel pattern. When he asks why, Griet replies, "The colors fight when they are side by side, sir." This moment is fascinating as it foreshadows Griet's natural affinity for composition and color, qualities that align her with Vermeer's artistic vision and set her apart from others. It highlights the theme of perspective, how seeing the world through an artist's lens can create immediate, unspoken connections amid social barriers. Griet's family has fallen on hard times after her father, a tile painter, was blinded in a kiln explosion, leaving them reliant on her brother Franz's apprenticeship, and now Griet's wages. Reluctantly, she packs her belongings, including a treasured tile painted by her father, depicting her and Agnes as children, and moves to the Vermeer household in Papist's Corner, a Catholic enclave that feels alien to her Protestant upbringing. The house is bustling with Vermeer's 5 children: Mertke, Lisbeth, Aladis, Cornelia, and baby Johannes, Catharina, who is pregnant again, her sharp-witted mother Maria Thins, and the loyal but temperamental maid Tanica. Griet's duties are grueling: laundry, cleaning, shopping, and crucially, cleaning Vermeer's studio without disturbing a single item, a task Catharina is forbidden from due to her clumsiness. This exclusivity breeds early resentment from Catharina, who feels sidelined in her own home. Griet finds solace in the studio's quiet order, imagining Vermeer's presence as she dusts his tools and canvases. An interesting section here is Griet's first glimpse of Vermeer's use of a camera obscura, a device that projects images to aid painting. Vermeer demonstrates it to her, saying, "This is a tool. I use it to help me see so that I am able to make the painting." This scene analyzes the intersection of technology and art in the 17th century, showing how Vermeer blends innovation with observation, and it deepens Griet's fascination with him, blurring the lines between master and servant. Tensions arise quickly. Cornelia, the spiteful 7-year-old, torments Griet by knocking her water pots into the canal and later framing her for theft. Griet navigates this by maintaining composure, but the household's wildness contrasts sharply with her family's restraint, emphasizing themes of control and chaos. Meanwhile, at the market, Griet haggles with Butcher Peter and meets his son, also Peter, who flirts with her. marking the start of a practical courtship that contrasts with her idealized attraction to Vermeer. The year darkens with a plague outbreak in Griet's old neighborhood. Catharina forbids her from visiting home to avoid contagion, isolating Griet further. Tragedy strikes when Griet's younger sister, Agnes, dies of the plague. Griet sneaks home for the burial, grieving deeply. "I never know what you're thinking, Griet. You're so calm and quiet, you never say. But there are things inside you. I see them sometimes, hiding in your eyes." Her father's words here reveal Griet's internal complexity. Her quiet exterior masks turbulent emotions, a recurring motif that mirrors the novel's restrained narrative style. Amid this, Catharina gives birth to a son, Franciscus, adding to the household's demands. As winter turns to spring, Griet becomes more indispensable. She assists Vermeer secretly by grinding pigments and preparing colors. A role Maria Thins facilitates to keep Catharina unaware. These sessions in the attic foster a subtle, erotic tension. Griet feels seen by Vermeer in ways no one else does. One poignant dialogue occurs when Vermeer teaches her about color harmony. "Come, Griet, you can do better than that. Think of your vegetables. Think of how you separated the whites. Your turnips and onions are the same color when they are in the basket together." This exchange is interesting for its analysis of artistic education. Vermeer draws on Griet's everyday experiences to explain abstract concepts, elevating her from maid to apprentice and challenging class boundaries. However, dangers loom. Vermeer's wealthy patron Van Ruyven, a lecherous man who once impregnated a previous maid, takes a predatory interest in Griet during a visit. He gropes her and later demands Vermeer paint him with her, saying, "I want a painting of you both together." Vermeer resists, protective of Griet, but the pressure mounts. This section explores themes of exploitation and women's lack of autonomy. Griet is treated as a commodity for sale to her employers and suitors, as critic Lisa Fletcher notes. Griet's personal life evolves too. She grows closer to Pieter, the son, sharing physical intimacy that awakens her sexuality. Though she remains emotionally distant, fixated on Vermeer, her parents approve of Pieter for his stability, but Griet feels torn. "I wanted to wear the mantle and the pearls. I wanted to know the man who painted her like that." This internal monologue, reflecting on Vermeer's painting of A Woman in Blue, captures her longing for a life beyond her station, blending desire with artistic aspiration. Catharina eventually learns of Griet's assistance, but tolerates it begrudgingly. Griet gains some authority, but Cornelia's mischief persists, such as planting false evidence of theft. Van Leeuwenhoek, Vermeer's friend and lensmaker, warns Griet, "You must take care then. Take care to remain yourself." This advice underscores the novel's central theme of identity amid transformation. By early 1666, Van Raven's insistence leads to a compromise. Vermeer will paint Griet alone. The sessions are charged with intimacy. Vermeer poses her in his studio, adjusting her headscarf and gaze. Griet feels exposed, yet empowered. "The painting wanted to keep me safe. It wanted us both to live forever in those moments when we truly saw each other." This fictionalized creation of the iconic painting is one of the most compelling sections, analyzing the collaborative nature of art. Griet suggests changes, like altering a table's position, showing her growing influence, though critics like Gary Schwartz have questioned the historical plausibility of a maid advising Vermeer. The turning point comes when Vermeer insists Griet wear Catharina's pearl earrings for authenticity. Griet pierces her ear in secret, enduring pain that symbolizes her sacrifice for art. On her 18th birthday, with Catharina away, she poses. Vermeer gently inserts the earring, their proximity electric. Pieter proposes that day, but Griet deflects, torn between practicality and passion. Disaster strikes when Cornelia exposes the painting to Catharina, who erupts in jealousy, accusing Griet of theft and attempting to slash the canvas. Vermeer intervenes, but the damage is done. Catharina goes into premature labor. The baby later dies. And Griet, realizing she has no future there, leaves calmly. When it was uncovered, it seemed to belong to another Griet. A Griet who would stand in an alley alone with a man who was not so calm and quiet and clean. This reflection marks Griet's self-awareness of her changed identity. 10 years later, Griet is married to Pieter, working in his butcher shop with 2 sons, Jan and Franz. Her parents have passed, and she has adapted to a stable but unremarkable life. Vermeer has died, leaving Catharina with 11 children and debts. Tanneke summons Griet to the house, where she learns Vermeer willed her the pearl earrings. Catharina, still bitter, hands them over reluctantly. Griet pawns them for 20 guilders, using 15 to settle the Vermeer's unpaid butcher bill and keeping 5 as a secret reminder. Pieter would be pleased with the rest of the coins, the debt now settled. I would not have cost him anything. A maid came free.